What guys, before we start this mock draft, just want to tell you that there's going to be a lot of times where the camera's glitched, where the camera's delayed. Even here, you can see it's a little bit glitchy. But yeah, just enjoy the mock draft, but just keep in mind that the camera's going to be glitchy or delayed at some points, and hope you guys enjoy. And look, it's glitched right now. Hope you guys enjoy though. Yo, so guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we have our final 2024 NBA mock draft. This is going to be a predictive mock draft, obviously, and yeah, get right into it. For the video, I'm going to say I'm using a different camera. My other camera I usually use is broke, it's not connecting to the USB, so I'm actually using the iPhone as the camera. So we'll see what happens. If it's glitchy, if it's delayed, I don't know. I'm just gonna roll with it because we got to get this last mock draft out. But like I said, this is going to be a predictive mock draft, not what I would personally do. If you want to see what picks I would personally do if I was every team's GM, go check the linked video. I believe it's going to be in the cards, like in the top right or left. Sometime during the video, it'll pop up. But this is going to be what I believe every team will do, and we're starting off with the Atlanta Hawks with the first overall pick. So realistically, all signs are pointing for this pick to be either Zachary Sachet out of France, who plays in the actually no, he does play in France right now. Stars, who plays in the NBL, or Donovan Clingan out of UConn. And I think with the first overall pick, the Atlanta Hawks will select Zachary Sachet. This is the first time I'm mocking him at number one, but all signs are pointing to this. Alex Sarr apparently hasn't worked out with this with the Hawks once during the pre-draft cycle, which is pretty crazy considering it's the first overall pick. You're going to be investing more than $10 million into this guy for the first 4 years of his career. So not seeing what he's able to do on the court is kind of crazy. And then there are the reports that Alex Sarr would rather be drafted second to the Washington Wizards, and look like he's going to be getting his wish in this mock draft because at 2, obviously the Wizards will be taking Alex Sarr out of France. If he doesn't get picked 1, the Wizards should pick 2. Don't field trade offers. He's the best player in this class pretty easily to me, in my opinion. His length, his athleticism, his defensive versatility. He's a great defender in the post. He's also an amazing defender considering he's over 7 feet tall on the perimeter. So with all that being said, he's going to be the second overall pick to the Washington Wizards, helping them get this rebuild underway a little bit with pieces like Bilal Coulibaly, Deni Avdija, and Alex Sarr. Forgot to mention that there are trades in this mock draft, but I'm actually not going to be trading this third overall pick. Hasn't been too much conversations around what the Rockets are looking to get for this third overall pick. So because of that, I'm going to assume that they're going to stick and pick. And with that being said, I'm going to have Reed Shepard go here. He's kind of been mocked here ever since the draft combine ended. He had an amazing draft combine. Even during the regular season, shot over 50% from 3 at Kentucky. Kind of feels like he's the best three-point shooter in this class. He's also a very solid defender, solid playmaker, as you can see. 5 assists a game is pretty good for someone who's not viewed as the on-ball guard for that team. You had guys like Antonio Reeves and Rob Dillingham there, and DJ Wagner. So he has a lot of playmaking potential, in my opinion. I think he will end up being more of a point guard in the league, but he has all the two-guard skills as well. He has great combo guard skills. His shot, like I said before, is probably the best in this draft. Like I said, solid defender, solid passer, and he's really a hustle player too. And for the Rockets team at 3, a team who's looking to make a playoff push next year, Reed Shepard is going to be the perfect player for them. At 4, we have the Spurs, and because this is a predictive mock draft, and honestly, I do this anyway, all of the signs are pointing to Stephon Castle being here at 4. The Spurs love him. Whether or not he's going to be their future starting franchise point guard, or if he's going to be a shooting guard or small forward even, I'm not sure. But he's not going to be available at 8 for sure. I don't think he falls past the Hornets at 6. It's just my opinion. And yeah, the Spurs maybe get their franchise point guard. We know Pop is a defensive-minded coach, and Stephon Castle, in my opinion, is the best perimeter defender in this draft class. Makes perfect sense for him to go here at 4. He's someone that one of my favorite players in this draft class, just because I think he has so much potential with that shot if he wants to buy into that shot. And with that being said, I think he's a great pick for the Spurs at pick 4. Pick 5, we have the Detroit Pistons, and I think this is going to be more of a connection type pick. You'll see what I mean in a couple of seconds. But yeah, the Pistons, their vice chairman, I believe is the title, is Arn Tellem, which is the father of Matas Buzelis' agent, Michael Tellem. And I think Arn Tellem was also a previous agent as well, so pass it on to his son. But with all that being said, it's looking like this pick's probably going to end up being Matas Buzelis, not just because of the connection between his agent and the vice chairman of the Detroit Pistons. Also, I think he fits a lot what this Pistons team's looking for. I know they could really use shooting, and there's guys don't connect on the board right now. But I personally think that the 5th overall pick I think you should still go Matas Buzelis to stir up that power forward position for or the years going on, your future. Isaiah Stewart, I don't think he's going to be part of your long-term plans. Matas Buzelis was a solid shooter or a good shooter at the end of his high school career. He came to G League Ignite, was not good. If he can get that shooting back, I think he can be the best player in this draft class pretty easily too. So he's going to go 5 to the Detroit Pistons, and I think the Pistons, despite them falling from 1 to 5 in the draft lottery, they should still be pretty happy getting Matas Buzelis, who can end up being one of the best players in this draft class at pick 5. At pick 6, we're going to have our first trade. We're going to have the Hornets at pick 6 trade down to the Memphis Grizzlies at pick 9. I'm just going to swap picks 9 and 30 or 9 and 6. It's obviously going to be a lot more. Could this include Marcus Smart? Maybe, but obviously we know who the Grizzlies are trading up to pick 6. They're going to take um, Donovan Clingan here out of UConn. They need big man position pretty bad. They lost Steven Adams last offseason. They lost Xavier Tillman. I think this Xavier Tillman was during the regular season. He got traded. And other than that, it's Connor Baer. Jaren Jackson Jr. is honestly a terrible rebounder considering he's a 7-foot big man. And Donovan Clingan is someone that can come in right away and bring them good rebounding. Also, great interior defense as well. I think the defense duo in the front court of Donovan Clingan and Jaren Jackson Jr. could feed families for generations. So just because of that, I'm going to have him go number 6 to the Memphis Grizzlies. And I think the Memphis Grizzlies have found their future center. I like it a lot for them. At pick 7, we have the Portland Trail Blazers. And in my opinion, if the Grizzlies do end up trading to pick 6, I think this is where the draft can honestly really start, considering the Matas Buzelis connection as well. The Blazers can go in 2 different directions here, in my opinion. They can go ahead and take the upside of Ron Holland, or they can go ahead and take the upside of Cody Williams as well. But they could also end up taking Don't Connect. But I'm going to be picking between Cody Williams and Ron Holland for the 7th overall pick. And in recent reports or draft analysts have said that Ron Holland was likely to fall out of the lottery, or at least to the end of the lottery. So because of that, we're going to go ahead and take Cody Williams with the 7th overall pick. Gonna be honest, he's a little passive for me. He's not too aggressive at that shooting guard position, where I think if he comes into the NBA, gets the right people around him, he can be aggressive with the ball. But he's not the best passer, as you can see, 1.5 assists a game. I think his defense is what he's going to have to rely on a lot when he comes to the league. He's 6'6" with an extremely long wingspan, and the jump shot was okay at Colorado. He didn't shoot it a lot though, so maybe I'm a little bit concerned about that. But I think all signs are looking to Cody Williams at pick 7 for the Portland Trail Blazers. Pick 8, we have the Spurs. I'm not going to say this is my first surprise pick, but it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to have the San Antonio Spurs take Devin Carter with the 8th overall pick. They're going to get their future backcourt of Devin Carter and Stephon Castle, 2 of the best defenders in this draft class. And having the 2 best defenders go to Greg Popovich, that could get scary. Devin Carter, though, also an amazing offensive player as well. Averaged about 20 points per game at Providence and almost 9 rebounds as well. Like, as a 6'2" point guard, that's pretty crazy. I think he's going to come in right away, be a really good role player for the Spurs, and maybe they can get their Derek White replacement that they lost a couple years ago. Maybe they can get a player who's even better. I love Devin Carter a lot as a prospect, and I think he deserves to be a top 10 pick in the 2024 NBA draft. At 9, we have the Charlotte Hornets. I can see this go a couple different ways, maybe a Ron Holland or a Don't Connect. I mean, trading down from 6 to 9 and still being able to draft Ron Holland's pretty impressive. But I think I'm going to head Don't Connect here. There's been a lot more connections between the Hornets with Don't Connect than there has been with the Hornets and Ron Holland. Just because of that, because of the reports, I'm going to head with Don't Connect here with the 9th overall pick. He could be a great off-the-bench shooter for them, I think, in year number 1. I doubt he starts. I'd like to see the Hornets get a defensive-minded 2 guard during free agency to go next to LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller. But Don't Connect, like I said, off the bench, be a great 3-point shooter, and I think he's going to have one of the better rookie years we see out of this draft class. At pick 10, I'm going to have the Utah Jazz, and the fall of one of the top guards in this draft class, whether it's going to be Nikola Topic or Rob Dillingham. I think Topic kind of fits what Danny Ainge is looking for a little bit better. So I'm going to have the Jazz take him with the 10th overall pick. That means Rob Dillingham falling a little bit in this draft class. I said I could see it happen. Looks like I might be right. And yeah, Topic did have that partially torn ACL to end the season in the playoffs for his team in Serbia. So will he play at all next season? We'll see. If he even is able to play, will he get playing time? I don't know. We'll see. Depends if they want to move guys like Horton Tucker or Colin Sexton, two guards that deserve minutes over a guy like Nikola Top. So whether or not he ends up playing a lot next season or at all next season, I think he's going to be a great guard to have going into year 2, year 3, and even year 4 at the end of that rookie contract. And the Jazz should be happy with getting this guy at pick 10, someone who we could have seen be the second overall pick if he stayed healthy. At 11, we have the Chicago Bulls, and I can very well see them on the slide of Rob Dillingham, but I'm actually going to have him keep falling. At pick 11, I'm looking at guys like Ron Holland potentially, Jacoby Walter, maybe even Tijon Salon I like. Could also see maybe even a little bit lower, maybe a Tyler Smith if they want to take a little bit of a reach. You know, the Bulls, not the greatest at drafting, not the greatest at managing their team. Their front office is not great. But I'm going to have them take Ron Holland, someone who's fallen a little bit in this mock draft. He's one of those guys that can maybe leave the lottery as well as Rob Dillingham. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens to guys like Ron Holland, Nikola Topic, and Rob Dillingham. That was for 3 people going into the draft because they're guys that can end up being top 10 picks or the guys that we can see all end up out of the lottery. We have a lot of potential possibilities for this year's draft class. That's why it's going to be very fun. But yeah, more on Ron Hollins. Obviously, like Bazelis, the shot wasn't great for Ignite this season, but it was solid, in high school. But I think the Bulls, they're going to be a team that's willing to take maybe a little bit of a risk. Even though I don't really believe Ron Hollins too much of a risk. I think he's one of the best players in this draft class. I have him rated as number 5 in this draft class. But yeah, Bulls, they already have a couple of on-ball guards. That's why I probably would stay away from a guy like Rob Dillingham. We know they have guys like Josh Giddey now. We have Kobe White. We have Javon Carter, even though that shouldn't stop you from taking Rob Dillingham. But yeah, Kobe White, Javon Carter, Adesumu, Josh Giddey. Those are 4 point guards. And when you add Zach LaVine to that mix, where we don't know whether or not he'll be traded, this team has a lot of on-ball guards. So let's go get a guy who can play off-ball, who can play that small forward position, maybe be your future at that position, assuming DeMar DeRozan does not come back to this team next year. Ron Holland's going to be the perfect guy. His athleticism is probably the best in this draft class, and I think, like a guy like Matas Buzelis, he has the potential to be the best player coming out of this draft class for sure. At pick 12, we have the Thunder, with Cody Williams, the brother of Jalen Williams, no longer being on the board. I can't really pick the homer pick. I could see Rob Dillingham potentially. This team did just trade Josh Giddey away for Alex Caruso, so they could be looking to add a little bit more offense off the bench. Could also see maybe an Isaiah Collier, but I'm actually going to have them go for a little bit of an upside pick here. So at pick 12, I'm going to have the Thunder take Tijon Salon here out of France. One of the lowest floors in this draft class that can potentially be a first round pick, but also one of the highest ceilings as well. Tijon Salon could be a very good stretch 4 / athletic slashing 4 for this Thunder team. It's going to be a similar pick to what Ousmane Dieng was, I think, 2 years ago for this team. But I think Tijon Salon has more potential than what Ousmane Dieng had coming into the draft. I like him a lot, honestly. I don't know if he's going to be. I think he could be one of those guys who could either go in the lottery. I think his highest is probably 7 to the Portland Trailblazers, but he's also a guy that could see slip to the 20s, where maybe the Knicks take him, maybe the who else is over there? Maybe the Wizards take him at 26. I think Tijon Salon has a very wide possibility of draft choices in this year's draft class. At 13, we have the Sacramento Kings. This is another team where I could see them go a couple different directions. With them bringing back Malik Monk, it's looking like they might not need another off-ball guard like a Jacoby Walter, like a Jared McCain, like maybe even a Bob Carrington here at pick 13. So instead, I'm going to look to add a forward. I could maybe look at Tristan Da Silva, can maybe look at a Tyler Smith, and with this 13th overall pick, I might take a little bit of a, you might say, reach here, but I like Tristan Da Silva a lot. He's going to go 13th to the Sacramento Kings. It's a very big need for them. We'll see whether or not they move on from Harrison Barnes this offseason, because I think Tristan Da Silva can shore up that position very well. He could do really all on the court. Being 6'8" and moving like him is something you just don't see every day. And Tristan Da Silva just brings that to the table. He's a great rebounder, solid rebounder actually. He's a very versatile scorer, can shoot the 3-ball, can slash, can even back up to the basket. His turnaround jump shot's very good. And at 13, some people might call it a little bit of a reach, but I like it a lot for the Sacramento Kings. Gives them maybe their power forward of the future, going next to Domantas Sabonis at the 5, and a guy like Keegan Murray at the 3. I like this a lot for the Sacramento Kings. 14. You guys are not going to be ready for this one. We're going to go with something a little bit interesting. We're not going with Rob Dillingham or Isaiah Collier or even Jacoby Walter. We're going with center. We're going with Zach Edey here at 14. The Blazers apparently like him at pick 7, so if they like this guy a lot enough to take him at pick 7, Why not wait till 14? Because I believe he should still be on the board at pick 14, unless it seemed like the Grizzlies take a chance on him at 9. The Thunder could also take a chance on him at 12. But if they have a guy that they like at pick 7, fall to 14, why wouldn't they take him? It makes perfect sense. Do I believe he should be a lottery pick? No, but he should be a very solid rookie for this team. Can be a great backup set. DeAndre Ayton going into next year. And if you asked me a couple months ago, or told me a couple months ago that Zach Edey, or that I would have Zach Edey mocked as a lottery guy, I'd call you crazy. But it's looking like that we might end up getting this. 12, like I said, to the Thunder, 7 possibly to the Blazers, 9 to the Grizzlies. Zach Edey can realistically be a lottery pick in this year's draft. Pick 15, we have the Miami Heat. Pick 15, we have the Miami Heat. I think they're going to be the team that ends the slide of Rob Dillingham in this draft. They need more guard help for sure, especially with the injury concerns of guys like Terry Rozier and Tyler Hero. I also see them maybe take a big here, maybe with Khalil Ware, Yves Missi. But I'm going to go with Rob Dillingham. End the slide. He can be a great backup guard for you right away. Defense will be a good big question. Would they rather take a guy that's maybe a little bit more focused on Heat culture on the defense side of the ball, like maybe a Bob Carrington? Possibly. But Rob Dillingham should not be available here. Go ahead and take him. Don't make this hard on yourselves. He is a great pick if he falls to 15. At 16, we have the Philadelphia 76ers. Give me Jared McCain, another guy I think is very good value at pick 16. Yes, this team does not have a lot of players on their roster. I think currently it's Joel Embiid, it's Tyrese Maxey. I'm not sure. There's one more guy on this roster that's contract is not expired yet. So I think a guy like Jared McCain, who could play great basketball for you right away. He's not a guy that has a high ceiling necessarily. He's also got a guy who's a raw prospect. Or he's not a guy who has a raw prospect. That is a raw prospect. He's a guy that can help you play right away in the playoffs, give you good minutes off the bench, or maybe even starting. We'll see what they do with this team. See what they do with that guard position next to Tyrese Maxey next season. I think that Jared McCain will be a very solid shooter off the bench for this 76ers team going into next season. At 17, we have the Lakers. It's looking like they're going to get a big man here. I'm going to give them Khalil Ware out of Indiana. Fine value. They want AD to play more of that power forward position next to her. I guess JJ Redick specifically. Honestly, I like that, especially when we get a guy like Khalil Ware who's not going to clog up the paint because we know Anthony Davis might do that. Even though I hope he's able to shoot that 3-ball next year. Khalil Ware can extend his range, 3-point, mid-range, great touch around the rim. His motor's questionable, but I think when you come into the NBA, especially in a winning system like the Los Angeles Lakers, that kind of goes out the window. You're here to play NBA basketball. You're here to make money. Khalil Ware, welcome to the NBA. You're a Los Angeles Laker. At 17 or at 18, excuse me, we have the Orlando Magic. I'm probably gonna have them go guard here. It would be between Jacoby Walter and Bubba Carrington with this pick, and I think I'm gonna have them go. I'm gonna have them go Bub Carrington here. There's been a lot of reports that Bub Carrington can maybe sneak into the lottery. I'm not sure if I'm 100% buying on that. I've seen him go ahead of Isaiah Collier, which is what I'm doing in this draft class. I've also seen him head go Rob Dillingham. That's kind of a little bit too rich for me. But Bob Carrington, another guy who's amazing at the combine, who was even a solid freshman, wasn't that efficient, but he was very solid. This Pittsburgh team got pretty far, but before they didn't make March Madness, I think they probably should have got that, but they didn't get it. I love Bob Carrington a lot. I think he's definitely a top 20 prospect. And at 18 for the Magic, it's going to be a great fit. It's going to be another guards you could put in that could shoot the rock. Maybe we make a trade this offseason with some of the guards we have on this team already to get a bigger name guy. But Bob Garrington, he could shoot the 3-ball, and I like his fit a lot with the Orlando Magic going into next year. At 19, we have the Toronto Raptors. I'm probably going to end up going with big or wing slash guard here. I like Jacoby Walter a lot. It's kind of tough seeing him fall all the way down here, but they could potentially go him. You could also see Isaiah Collier. A lot of mock drafts or analysts have said that Isaiah Collier will fall down this draft. Looks like I'm agreeing with them on this one. Could also see them go big here, like a Yves Missi, like a Deron Holmes. I guess he's listed at power forward. Yep, Deron Holmes. And with this 19th overall pick, I think I'm going to go ahead and go Jacoby Walter here, though. Stop his slide. I think Walter, Dillingham, I said this conversation a little bit ago, but Walter, Dillingham, Collier, Topic, Ron Hollins, all guys that could fall out of the lottery and fall deep into the draft. And if the Raptors are able to get him at 19 with losing their personal first round pick, that's a big W for them. I like Jacoby Walter to the Raptors specifically. As a player, I'm not so sure. But yeah, Raptors get another combo guard to put in there. Hopefully, he could be a great role player for your team going forward. 20 here, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. I like Isaiah Collier a lot. I don't know if he falls past this pick here at 20. Apparently, the Cavs are ready to offer Donovan Mitchell that max extension. What happens with Darius Garland in that case? I'm assuming that means we might see it free because those two guys can't really coexist in the backcourt anymore. Or at least they're not seeing too much success. And for that reason, Isaiah Collier gives them another option to plug into that point guard position, a little bit more defensive minded, a lot more aggressive, and kind of gives Donovan Mitchell the option to play a little bit more on ball. I know Isaiah Collier was a point guard for USC last season, but I think he has the opportunity to play off ball at the next level in the NBA for sure. So I like him a lot at pick 20. The Cavaliers stop the fall of Isaiah Collier. At 21 of the Pelicans, everyone's saying this, it makes the most sense. We're going to give them Yves Missi here out of Baylor. Yes, Jonas Valanciunas is a free agent. It's looking like he will not resign. So Yves Missi, whether or not he starts next year, probably not because he's a very raw player. Just makes sense for the Pelicans to get more big depth. Cody Zeller, really can't get minutes for you next season. Like, come on, that has to be the fact. Larry Nance Jr., maybe something similar, even though I do like him a lot more than Cody Zeller, but I also consider him more of a power forward in the league. So because of that, we're going to get a pure center here in Yves Missi, somebody who can play great interior defense, catch lobs, and can really be the full package for what the Pelicans are looking to take here at 21. Also, they haven't really had a defensive-minded center around Zion Williamson. Maybe Yves Missi could be that. Valanciunas was not that. Larry Nance, not that. Going a little bit back, Jackson Hayes was not that. It's time to get someone who could play on both sides of the ball, could be a really good role player going forward for the New Orleans Pelicans. All right, at pick 22, we have the Phoenix Suns. I'm gonna be honest, my camera cut out for a little bit, um, so I'm not sure what you saw of me and what you didn't see of me, but obviously you can see the screen, so that's really what matters. And yeah, the mock draft also restarted for some reason. I don't know if it was a Wi-Fi issue or something, but I just redid all the picks. I forgot what I left off on. Yves Missi, 21 to the Pelicans. They need it. They need center badly. They're giving it to him. At 22 for the Suns, though, I think we're going to see our first trade here. Now, with the 22nd overall pick, I'm going to have, just had to make sure my camera was actually working that time, but I'm going to have, all right, the camera should be good now. Hopefully it is. But I'm going to have the Suns trade 22 to the Washington Wizards for Marvin Bagley. Nas Little will be included in that trade as well. But yeah, the Wizards trading Marvin Bagley to the Phoenix Suns basically means that they are going to rebuild this big man rotation fully, with Alex Sarr being the starting center next year and having backup being Tristan Vukcevic, someone I actually like a lot, who had a pretty underrated season last year and I think can be a very backup big for the Wizards next season. So with that being said, I'm going to have the Wizards select Keyshawn George with the 22nd overall pick. He had a good possibility to go to the Knicks at 24 or 25. So the Wizards are coming and swoop him. He's a guy that apparently can be picked close to the lottery. So at 22, it'd be very good value. One of the highest ceilings we have in this draft. And I think for the Wizards, he can end up getting PT right away, which can be very vital to his progression. At pick 23, we have the Milwaukee Bucks. I think this is a team that can go in a lot of different directions with this pick. I like 24 or 23, we have the Milwaukee Bucks. As much as I hate it, they're probably going to end up going Kyle Filipowski. I don't think he should be a first-round guy, but the Bucks do need big man help. They need a potential Brook Lopez replacement down the line, and Kyle Filipowski should be able to provide them that for the future. At 24, we have the Knicks, and with the players still available on the board, I'm not going to have them trade either of these picks. First of all, we're going to go ahead and take Tyler Smith here, someone who I have rated a lot higher than the 24th overall pick. It's a great pick by the Knicks here at 24. At 25, we have two guys available here, Jalen Tyson and Ryan Dunn. I think they go one of those guys. I think I'm going to have to lean Ryan Dunn with this pick, though. Fits the Knicks' defensive-minded system a lot. He's one of the best defensive players coming in. He's one of the best defensive players I've really ever witnessed at the college level. You really can't get it done like him. At being 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", I mean, he's basically been rated everywhere with shoes. I mean, without shoes, like 6'6.5". Without with shoes, he's like 6'8". So being that height, being able to guard basically, not even basically, he can guard 1 through 5. He's one of the most versatile defensive players I've ever seen. Just the way I'm going to put it. If the offensive game doesn't develop, he's going to be a better Matisse Thybulle. And at 25, the Knicks, they're looking for someone who could give them just that. 26, we have the Wizards. They're going to go ahead and get themselves a future point guard. Tyus Jones can very well leave in free agency, and because of that, we're going to go give him Tyler Kolek, one of the best playmakers in college basketball. In last season, I'm probably the best player in college basketball, the best playmaker in college basketball. Is he the best playmaker in this draft? I'm going to say no. We have guys like Juan Nunez, someone that I honestly don't love it as a prospect at all, but his playmaking cannot, like, you cannot deny his greatness on the playmaking side of basketball. Nikola Topic obviously as well. But last year in college basketball, though, Tyler Kolek had the crown of, I think was he the assist leader at like 8 assists a game, maybe something like that. But I'm gonna have him go 26 to the Washington Wizards, getting their future potential starting point guard. We'll see what happens to guys like Jordan Poole. We know what's up with Tyus Jones; he's a free agent. But yeah, maybe they get their guy in Tyler Kolek there at 26. At 27, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves. Sorry if the camera's delayed. It probably is. I'm gonna be honest. The iPhone camera on a website, it's definitely delayed. I know that for sure. But at 27, we have the Timberwolves. I'm gonna go ahead and give them Johnny Furphy here at 27. Yeah, Johnny Furphy can come in and give them something they were sort of lacking last season in terms of bench shooting. It was really just Nicole Alexander Walker, and even then, sometimes he had his off days as well. So Johnny Furphy gives them something they need immediately in shooting off the bench, and I think he has high potential too at the shooting guard position. 28, we have the Denver Nuggets. They gave a promise to De'Ron Holmes. They're going to keep their side of the promise up. Really, honestly, I'm kind of dropping De'Ron Holmes a little bit here anyway. But yes, the Nuggets here at 28. They'd take him immediately if he was available. At 29, we have the Utah Jazz. Give him Pacome Dadiet. I'm going to go Pacome Dadiet here out of France. I think he's probably stirred his name into that first round conversation for sure. And yeah, a draft class, Nikola Topic and Pacome Dadiet. Wonder how Jazz fans would like that. Two guys, though, that Danny Ainge would love as prospects. So Dadiet here at 29. And with the last pick in the first round of the 2024 NBA draft, give me Jalen Tyson. I like it honestly a lot. Jalen Tyson is going to bring the Celtics immediate great bench depth. He's one of the most aggressive players in this draft class. He's a great scorer. I think overall for the Celtics, it's kind of a steal at 30. I think he can go a lot higher. I have him rated a lot higher at 25. So great pick for the Celtics there at 30. Give me Jalen Tyson. So here is the here's the final mock draft. We're gonna see some guys who might have been a little bit too high, or who I personally have a little bit higher than usual, or lower than usual. Reese at 1, first time I've ever had it, but it's looking like that will be the case. Star at 2, same thing. Other than that, I guess the Grizzlies trading up is pretty notable. Maybe also Carter at 8. But other than that, it's been pretty uniform. The Silver at 13, maybe a little bit too high, but I think it's something the Kings should definitely consider. And yeah, that's the mock draft. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see how many picks I got correct. Very excited for this year's draft. And yeah, see you next time. Peace.